Hello everybody, HealthMate Sauna here, and in today's video we are going to show you guys how to upgrade your older green style or red style controllers to our newer touch sensitive controllers, as well as show you guys how to upgrade your older power supplies, your silver and blacks, to our brand new yellow upgraded power supplies. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to remove the controller, and how we do this is on each corner behind this sticker is going to be screws. So you want to go ahead and get a razor blade and go ahead and get into the side of the sticker here. Now you want to do in a manner that you don't damage this wood bezel. So once you get the corner, you can go ahead and grab it and just go ahead and peel it off. We're going to dispose of this anyways, so it's not a big deal. Once you have it completely off, you're going to have 4 screws here, and we're going to go ahead and grab our screwdriver and pull these off. Okay, so now we want to keep these screws, so don't dispose of the screws. So now that we've removed all of the screws, this panel here should just pop right out. Okay, so now you have the panel out, the first part of the panel, and you want to go ahead and remove this ribbon cable and this ribbon cable down here. So now we have completely removed the front end panel of this this green controller from this sauna. We'll go ahead and go on the inside and we'll show you how to remove that one. Okay, so now we've moved to the inside. So we want to complete the exact same process that we did on the outside. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this razor in here, pull it back, and go ahead and pull this sticker all the way down. Now you might have a little bit of trouble because it is a really good adhesive on there, but just do your best to pull it down. So now we've got it down, and we're going to repeat the process here, and we're going to unscrew this panel. Okay, remember, keep the screws, okay? So now what we want to do is we want to take our other hand and kind of push it through, and on this controller, you're going to have 2 very, very important cables that are holding it on. So make sure when you pull it out, you don't let it dangle or kind of fall down. So the first one that you're going to have is your 5-pin controller cable. So you can go ahead and remove this cable here and this cable and pull this out. And go ahead and recycle that. So the 2 most important cables is this 5-pin and a 2-pin. So what you want to do is you want to remove this 5-pin, and by kind of wiggling it, you don't want to pull by the wires. If you damage these wires or pull a wire out, we have to send you a whole brand new data cable that you have to run down. So be very, very careful with this. So go ahead and leave this to the side. The other very important cable is your temp sensor. This is the 2-pin. Just go ahead and unplug it. And you've now successfully removed your controller for an AS or a green style HealthMate sauna. Now what we're going to do is we are going to show you guys how to install your brand new touch sensitive controllers by HealthMate. These are the latest technology, and they go off the touch, the heat sensitivity of your finger. So in the box you're going to have 2 skins, okay, 2 stickers in the box, and then you're going to get 2 controllers in a box. You're going to get a slave controller that only has the ribbon cable, no other connections, and then you're going to get another controller that actually has, remember, that 5-pin connector and the 2-pin connector. Okay, but the first thing that I want you to do is, if you have these blue stickers on, I want you to go ahead and peel those off. Some of them are actually coming with this, some of them aren't. So if you don't have it, then you don't need to peel. If you do, you definitely need to peel. So I'm going to go ahead and peel these off, and we'll be right back. Okay, now that we've successfully removed the blue protection film, we want to go ahead and start installing these new controllers. So what you want to do is you want to find the controller here that has, so there's 2 controllers. One is the main controller that has the 5-pin and the 2-pin connection, and then we have a slave controller, and that controller has no connection at all other than the ribbon cable to connect the 2. So what we want to do is we want to take your old data cable, and you want to be careful, because if you notice here, there's a round corner on the top end, and it's a 90 or a straight corner on the back. You want to make sure you insert this correctly and you don't jam it in. And always push it in by the actual connector, not by the wires. So now that we've done that, this is successfully installed. And then we take the 2-pin connector, which is your temperature sensor, and see these little notches here? Those notches are going to angle frontwards, just like that. So now that your 2-pin is in there, you want to mount this. I usually like to mount this on the main controller on the outside and then the slave on the inside. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I will lay this controller on the I'll put it through the hole and lay it on the inside there. And then I will mount the new controller. So now let's go ahead and screw it in. Okay, now we've actually successfully installed the outer piece or the new controller on the outside of your sauna. We do not want to put the sticker on at this point. Let's go ahead and do the inside. Okay, so now we have the inside controller, and what we want to do on the inside, since we've already plugged everything in, we just want to make sure nothing came unplugged, everything is set, it's snug, and we can go ahead and we can mount this interior controller. Now, you sometimes got to move these wires around a little bit to make it fit perfectly, but there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the screws, and we're going to go ahead and mount this. Okay, we have successfully upgraded your controllers, and again, we want to keep the stickers off at this point. We don't want to put them on. So now let's go ahead and start with the power supply and removing the power supply to upgrade it to the new one. Okay, in this part of the video, we're going to show you guys how to upgrade the power supply in your sauna to our newer one. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to find this wood cover. Some of these wood covers have magnets on them. Some of them have a little flap and they're screwed in, but they're all removable. And some of them are in the front of the, or most of them are in the front of the sauna, but some are on a corner unit. It's on the back. So we're going to go ahead and find it. If it has screws, unscrew it. If it's magnet like this one, we'll just go ahead and pull it off, and we'll go ahead and put it to the side. Second thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead, and this one's black and some of them are silver, so it's either a silver or black, but they look almost identical. So we want to go ahead and we want to unplug your inlet, which is your power, and I would just inspect this a little bit, make sure that there's nothing wrong with it, it's no melting or anything. So now we have that, so we're going to go ahead and unplug that. The next cable is your rear heater. Okay, these are the two cables that are going to come up from the floor. So just remember, your rear heater comes up from the floor and your power cable comes up from the floor. Okay, the next thing we want to do is remove, there's a little data cable up here. It's a silver nut, and we want to just go ahead and unscrew this silver nut and wiggle it out and pull it out and go ahead and just put it to the side here. Okay, so now we have pretty much everything except for your two cables up here. Now these two cables are a little tricky because they're the exact same cable connection, but one is for your heaters and one is for your lamp. Okay, so you want to make sure that you do not get these two confused, and how I do that is I will remove the power supply, and when I'm putting the new one in, I will unplug them one at a time. So let's go ahead and remove it. On this particular power supply, on most, you're going to have screws on the left side here, and you're going to have screws on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove all of these screws. Okay, again, we want to keep these screws because they're going to be used in the new power supply. And we're going to remove the bottoms. Okay, now that we've removed all the screws, this power supply should just wiggle itself out. So remember when I was telling you that you have a lamp here and a front heater here. So they are marked. In this particular sauna, this is a little bit newer of a sauna, and this is when we actually started labeling these. And this has a lamp on it, so this has a heater. So this already has the two marked. So you don't need to mark it on this one. We can just go ahead and pull these out. If yours doesn't, if it's an older model, you need to mark these two cables. So you can either mark it lamp or heater, either one is fine. So go ahead and we'll go ahead and remove these. And now we've successfully removed the power supply. One little thing left here, and this is what we call the high limit switch. Now this high limit switch on this particular sauna actually goes up to, and it sits right about here in the wall. Now, because the new power supply has its own high limit switch, which is right, actually it sits right, this one sits right here. So actually we could just go ahead and pull it out. So I just went ahead and pulled it out, and now we're done. Okay, now we have your brand new power supply. This is an upgraded version of your older one. It's a little bit thicker. It's going to be yellow, or it's going to be a light orange. We've upgraded a lot of the parts in here to commercial grade components, your relays, your capacitors, even the PCB board, and then we've also added some surge protections in here. So usually what I say to people is, before you install this, go ahead and unscrew this red cap here. Push this in just to make sure that there's no issues. Make sure if it clicks, that means that it's popped, but if it's really loose, you're fine. So go ahead and check that. Go ahead and put this back on. And circuit breaker, same thing. Just click it here, just make sure that it's loose, and you're all set. You're ready to install it. So first thing that we want to do is go ahead and take your heater cable. This one's marked. You should have marked yours if it wasn't. And go ahead and plug it in here. Then now you want to do the next part cable. You want to do your lamp. Go ahead and plug your lamp in, and then the data cable. So the data cable here is going to have this little notch. You want to line up that notch to the data port. You want to go ahead and screw that down, and you want to kind of move these cables up a little bit and stick that power supply back in the hole, just like that. So that is literally how easy it is to put in one of these new power supplies. The next part of this is go ahead and screw it back in. Take the screws and screw it back in. Go ahead and plug in your heater, your rear heater here, and you can go ahead and plug in your inlet. And you have literally just upgraded your power supply in less than 2 minutes. That's how easy it is. Now, your older cover is not going to fit over this because it is a larger power supply. So we do have a new wood cover that we can send you. And I'm going to go ahead and put that one on, and we're all set. That is how easy it is, folks. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to test this thing out and make sure that everything works, and then put the skins back on, and you'll be ready to use your sauna. All right, so now that we've installed the brand new power supply, we're going to go ahead and put the skins on. But this is a really good sign. So if it says off here on your controller, that's a really good sign. Once you plug in and obviously to the wall, this means that you hooked everything up right, it's ready to go. How we test this, and we always want to test it before we put these skins on. Once you put the skins on, getting them off to get to your screws is a little difficult. So go ahead and just hold down this middle button here, and it's on. So now your sauna is on. They are touch sensitive, so you got to kind of hold it down. It's not a tap. You can't just tap it, okay? Doesn't do anything. You got to hold it. Okay, so now you're all set. You know that it's working. You can go ahead and go in and check your heaters. So give it about 5 or 10 minutes for it to run, and then just go inside and check the heaters with your hand. Just make sure that they're all turning on correctly. You can also test your lamp here. Make sure that your lamp is turning on and off. And then it's that easy. So let's go ahead, and what we'll do is we'll turn this off. We already know that this one is working. So we'll go ahead and we'll peel this off. So what you want to do is kind of get your fingernail in here and peel it back, and now you have the sticker. So what you want to do is you want to line up the top here, okay? You want to line up the top, and you want to line up the bottom as best as you can, and you're all set. And that's how easy it is. So you can actually repeat the process here for the inside, but that's all set. So now when you press a button, boom, your controller's on. It's all ready to, your sauna's ready to use, and you have upgraded parts. And these parts are much better than the older ones, and will outlast the older ones. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to give us a call, submit a support ticket, or shoot us an email.